Remember Obibia Akwaba Shonkoso at the Aba POG Media so you best show Obibia says Afi and Wabedjumedi Kessie we so over like you share no subscribe to the channel and send you political trending news be a coach cobra my baby and Hanum POG Media so and the Aji Penny say Busia for Edjumedi we Ebebia and they call political highway so na Nzembe brain so akote assembly business in assembly business SCA and S.Gyamfi and N.Fordjour Akosia or JoyNews SCA on Omokeka Omonsema S.Gyamfi no catch N.Fordjour and say your cup is full. Why no you can ask no I can call for immediate arrest. N.Fordjour so age 9 and PT catch and say friend call them and let them come and catch me. Obedient me becheme. N.Fordjour na as exposing or JoyNews all case no defend cocaine drug addict na so cocaine dealer no or defend keke na he has no evidence and as oni bibia say cocaine no okay can who be na oshembia ebusuafo aye gidigidi or JoyNews pa aye S.Gyamfi ani abri pa ebusuafo menje mombremo so mense mombrem so pi best share mo se mo be me akọ na ya so ani akotie de S.Gyamfi ani N.Fordjour kan or JoyNews me do bibias.
You cannot say that anybody can wake up any day, put out any information, and if we don't have a polarized partisan system, we are supposed to investigate that. When the person
I didn't say that,
does not adduce any basis or evidence to substantiate that claim,
I didn't say that,
or to even necessitate an investigation.
Sammy,
what you are doing is that you are defending the indefensible.
Sammy, you know
that. You are justifying something which is totally wrong.
Sammy, you know that.
At least you have given every panel member.
Hold on. I get that. But listen to my question.
You can give me 2-3 minutes.
Hear my question. Hear my question.
You cannot ask me a question or truncate me after every sentence.
I'm not truncating you. Here.
You don't have a lot of things to say. They said a lot of things.
I'll let you say that. So, you know that acts of corruption, drug deals,
yes,
they happen in the underworld.
Yes.
It's difficult to prove them.
Yes.
So sometimes, or most often, it is suspicion that is triggered for the investigation to happen.
My brother, it is not suspicion that is triggered for investigations to happen. And we are not talking about suspicions here. Let's not overly dwell on the word suspicion. I read a direct quote from their press conference to you. They alleged that they had credible intelligence. But
the press release is right before you. You are reading from somewhere else.
Being a nuisance. Your constituents
I take exception to that.
You are disgracing yourself.
I take exception to that.
It is not your time to speak.
I take exception to that derogatory. I can imagine
you are reverend. Allow me to speak and stop this.
The cocaine and the money laundering. Who are you covering?
Look, I can
imagine your discomfort is better than you.
Can you
stop being a nuisance?
Okay.
I can imagine your discomfort.
You stated categorically that you have intelligence.
I will not accept it.
Now you are here. If you are a law-abiding citizen, you care about Ghana. You love Ghana.
You said more terrible things when you were in opposition.
True, the allegations
now we are calling you to investigate.
The allegations you made. At least you would have shared that intelligence with the people of Ghana. And you see, the impudence. He has the temerity to dictate to government who should speak for government. He says that the official spokesperson of government cannot speak to this matter.
Because he lied.
Who then should speak on this matter? What has Felix said, which you have proven to be a lie here? He's giving you the numbers of all the aircrafts, the dates they arrived. He told you that they had landing permits. He told you what they were carrying. He told you the number of days they had to stay at the Kotoka International Airport. He gave you the reason. But where did you get this guy?
Check the man.
What is the meaning of this?
Check that thing out.
I have never seen anybody be this disruptive on this trial. What is the meaning of this? Look, so he has given you all the details and he has demonstrated to you that these aircrafts were here for legitimate reasons. They went through thorough security inspection by aviation security, by national security, by the national, by the narcotics, NACOC. All these state security institutions inspected these aircrafts and nothing untoward has been done. He has told you where they went from here. He has given you the numbers. You can track the aircrafts. What again do you want to hear before you know that this man is lying? Because he has not given you any evidence at all. And he says that state security agencies should investigate suspicions. And Kofi Bentel is supporting him. His suspicions that he's not able to substantiate. This can only happen in Ghana.
What do you call
in other jurisdictions, this guy would have been blacklisted.
Look,
when we were in opposition and we were criticizing the dense national organizations, we always adduced evidence to substantiate our allegations. And that is why we were never... Look, the only time I was arrested on the allegation that I had published false information, the matter didn't travel beyond 2 hours. I was picked from the premises of UTV on grounds that I had published false information. I went to the CID, they asked me, I provided the evidence. Matter ended. You are here. You've made spurious claims. You are talking about intelligence in your possession, in your knowledge, to the effect that certain aircrafts were smuggling illicit substances. You don't have any evidence. It is here, and you are entertaining. You have no conscience. You have no shame. You are an embarrassment to your party. You are an embarrassment to your constituency. And it is only in the country that you will be entertained. And I want to say this. If this guy does not honor the invitation of national security to do that,
call them to come and arrest me right here.
I'm coming. I'm saying that if he doesn't honor the invitation,
I dare you to call them.
Asariobing, A+, and then also you recall sometime last week put out that certain interception of some trucks carrying suspected missing cables belonging to the ECG in his constituency. In this whole matter of the ECG containers being misplaced, or as reported by the minister, missing at the ports, the content of it as well. And we're hearing that some 2 persons have also been arrested earlier today in relation to the contents of some of the containers belonging to the ECG that are nowhere to be found. Well, in the case of the former youth and sports minister, here's what we do know from our sources. His name was mentioned in this National Service Authority ghost name scandal, where he once served as executive director. His also reported involvement in controversy surrounding the budget and organization of the All Africa Games under his watch as sports minister. If you recall, this was a matter that was topical and may have also influenced this invitation that we're talking about. That this is one that we'll keep an eye on and see how things play out. But this is Ghana Tonight. Let's stay on the matters of security. Coming up next, government describes as false claims by the minority that suspicious aircrafts landed at the Kotoka International Airport with illicit drugs and cash. But the originator of the said claim, the NPP MP for Ascent South, Reverend John N.Fordjour, he has fired back, also raising questions about what the government spokesperson and minister in charge of government communication, Phyllis Kwachu-Fosu, put out there. Well, here's what Phyllis Kwachu-Fosu said. It's described claims by the ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, Reverend John N.Fordjour, to the effect that suspicious aircraft carrying drugs and some money illegally landed at the Kotoka International Airport as false. Let's hear exactly what Phyllis Kwachu-Fosu said.
Last few days, the disinformation machine of the new patriotic party has been ratcheted up, and they've taken it a notch higher. This time, Reverend N.Fordjour, who also doubles as the Member of Parliament for the good people of Ascent South, has made very wild claims to the effect that 2 aircrafts which passed through Ghana for various reasons were carrying drugs, and that was the reason why they were here. He also alleged that they were involved in money laundering, and therefore he was calling for investigations. As you may be aware, President Mahama gave him the opportunity to present any evidence or any basis he has for making that claim to the security services, so that together we could look into the matter to ascertain whether there was any truth in it. I can report to you that because he knew he was peddling total falsehoods and lies, he now claims, after being invited to assist with investigations, that he was speaking on behalf of the committee that he was part of, and that the views he expressed were not his personal views. So because of that, he says he's unable to cooperate with the security agencies. I say that he was peddling falsehood because the facts as they exist vary completely from the claims that he made. When he made that claim, he was only seeking to peddle falsehood in a bid to undermine the confidence that the people of Ghana have in this government.
For Yankopon show Bibia, Edo Bibia, Wetimi, Ajidumedi Atuma, or Gusuni Dumedi, or Ababe do something, Prince Oe, Edo Bibia say. Be sure so be like, be subscribe, no share to the channel, no send ya afofro insa enso ebetumi aka Jumedi ya ye DB. For S.Gyamfi no S.Gyamfi na na abrie pa okache N.Fordjour say when jide your oil na obefre police for ama omaba abeche no e wo JoyNews room hono ma N.Fordjour so retaliate ka say S.Gyamfi untimi mfa obia ameche me wa ha na uni evidence bia so S.Gyamfi akoyi audio che say N.Fordjour ka say ono cocaine onim ho bi for me da obi bia say mehram say mami akọ nya akọ akotie nto aso.
The truth is that 2 aircrafts with completely different purposes arrived in Ghana, and their arrival was perfectly legitimate, and they were here for very genuine reasons. The first one is an Antonov flight 12BK with registration number CVK 7037. Now this flight essentially is a cargo plane which arrived on the 12th of March 2025. Now no plane arrives in Ghana without a landing permit. So this plane secured a landing permit with number GAF/TMAO/25/7863. Now the purpose for arriving in Ghana was what we call a technical stop. Essentially, this is a cargo flight that was destined for the European Union market. And European Union regulations dictate that some specific regulatory requirements be met before any plane of that sort can enter the EU. Now, this plane originated from Luanda in Angola. It was loaded with oil drill equipment and lubricant oil, which were contained in jerrycans. It was headed for the EU market. Now, Luanda does not have the certification to carry out the sort of requirements that this plane had to meet before entering the EU market. Now, the specific requirement is a scanning and screening RA3 procedure, which is a requirement to enter the European Union. Luanda doesn't have it. The Swiss cargo facility at the Kodoka International Airport has that certification, and they can do that kind of scanning. Whilst here, it developed an engine blade fault. Its engine blade was damaged, and then it was also detected that there was severe oil leakage, which required immediate attention. For that reason, a replacement aircraft, URCEZ, with registration number CVK 7007, was brought in to evacuate the cargo. The aircraft that was damaged remained here for 13 days. That is between 12 March and 25th March 2025. After it had been inspected by aviation security officials of the Narcotic Control Commission, officials of National Security and National Intelligence Bureau, no contraband or unlawful commodities were found on the aircraft. Now, the second aircraft in question is a Hawker 800 XP with registration number N823AM. Now, this aircraft is operated by an organization called AirMed International, which is based in Birmingham, Alabama, in the United States of America. It operates as an air ambulance. Now, Air Medical International flights in Ghana are handled by Tropicana Airlines. Now, this plane landed in Ghana on 20th March from Gran Canaria, Las Palmas, Spain, having gone through Luanda in Angola. Now, it was also here for a technical stop, which is refueling and crew rest, which is perfectly legitimate activity. It was cleared to land in Ghana with clearance number GAF TWXR252604 OFAA 0297/25. Now, whilst it was landing in Ghana, it developed a tire burst and some difficulty with its landing gear, and therefore needed to remain here to be serviced. So another aircraft with registration number N864 arrived on 22nd March with ties and flight engineers from Luanda to replace the damaged ties of the aircraft. Now, once this was fixed, it departed the Kotoka International Airport on 25th March. The aircraft was once again inspected by officials of aviation security, officials of national security, officials of the National Intelligence Bureau, and NACOC, who made sure that it did not contain any unlawful substances, as alleged by Reverend N.Fordjour.
Well, that's the Minister in charge of Government Communications, Phyllis Kwachofosu, the Abrasebo Kwamankese Member of Parliament there. Now, prior to this video that he did, you can find on his X page, the Member of Parliament in question, I'm talking about the Asin South MP, Reverend N.Fordjour, had written requesting a meeting that's with the Defense Area Committee of Parliament and the various security agencies involved, the CID, the National Intelligence Bureau, National Security. And then there was a response from the chair of that Interior and Defense Committee, James Agalga, as well, indicating that really that 7th April meeting that they were asking for was one that was subject to some sort of process. But after this meeting, in fact, there was also this video that you just saw. After the video was put out, this is the response that Reverend N.Fordjour has put out, responding to what you just saw from Phyllis Kwachofosu. So he says, quote, Phyllis Kwachofosu lied when he claimed, "I have been invited by security agencies and failed to attend upon their invitation. No security or intelligence agency has ever invited me to assist them with any information. I dare Kwachofosu to produce a copy of such invitation. I'm still waiting on them to collaborate with me in Parliament to undertake President Mahama's directive, if the directive was not mere rhetoric. When I wrote to call for joint security briefing, which would have afforded the security and intelligence agencies the opportunity to collaborate with me and to share further information with them and receive their updates on investigations conducted into the specific cases, NDC Parliamentary Caucus and the government blocked the briefing and shielded the security and intelligence agencies from accountability and deny them the opportunity to collaborate with me. What are they hiding?" That's a question he asked. Whereas Kwachofosu confirmed my claims of the entry and departure of the 2 suspicious flights as true, the reasons provided by Kwachofosu in respect of their purpose of entry are incoherent, questionable, and cannot be taken seriously. The government has since failed to provide responses to the status of the 12 containers filled with gold and currencies confiscated by the National Security on February 9.5. The government has also failed to provide responses on the status of investigations made into the high-profile cocaine bust totaling some $500 million that was put out last week. In view of the above and the disingenuous response from government spokesperson, they are bent on, in his view, hiding information and evading accountability. That's Reverend N.Fordjour. They're still standing by that position. Yes, we are bringing Richard Commodore as a security analyst, formerly an operative of the BNI, Bureau of National Investigation, which is now the National Intelligence Bureau. And Mr. Commodore, thank you for joining us. I mean, this is politics and security all mixed together and playing out this way. How does all of these developments, as we are seeing today, get to you?
No, you wouldn't get to the bottom of it. I can understand the response from Phyllis Kwachofosu because the man who made a claim is a politician, and it will take another politician to come and respond. Considering the fact that the president's response said categorically that the security agency should collaborate with him.
Make sure say ma we fi ade baako like it, share and subscribe to the channel. Send your political trending news be a code recovery my baby and hanon POG Media biggest platform about politics, biggest platform POG Media. Betime e dey abrem ebusuafo me da obi biase na afi so masa Akroma.